Here's another show you can enjoy in the True Story FM family of entertainment podcasts.
Hey, movie lovers, I'm Pete Wright.
And I'm Andy Nelson. We are the hosts of the Next Reel Film Podcast.
If you're passionate about films like we are, you'll love our show. Each week, we dive deep into a movie, discussing everything from the story and performances to the cinematography and score.
Not to mention budgets and awards. We have covered iconic series like Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather trilogy, examining themes of power, family, and the dark side of the American dream.
We've explored the works of groundbreaking directors like Catherine Bigelow, discussing her mastery of tension.
We've looked at heist films, great car chases, great years in film, couples on the run, and more.
Our discussions go beyond the surface, examining what makes each film tick. We believe that when the movie ends, the conversation begins.
And we'd love for you to join that conversation. Find the Next Reel Film Podcast on your favorite podcast app or at thenextreel.com.
The Next Reel. When the movie ends,
our conversation begins.
Last time on the Testament of Solomon.
I, Solomon, it's me, Solomon. I'm Solomon. Everyone who's Solomon, raise your hand.
I am Beelzebul, exarch of the demons, and I too have a child who dwells in the Red Sea.
Go and fetch your son and bring him to me, Solomon.
I will not, but you will meet him soon enough.
Oh wow, 7 lady demons. Wah wah wee wah.
I am the worst of my 7 sisters, and I have a prophecy for you, O Solomon.
That's me.
I will make thee worse off than thou wast, because I will impose the bonds of Artemis. But the locust will set me free, for by means thereof it is fated that thou shalt achieve my desire.
No.
And now, the thrilling conclusion to the Testament of Solomon. Good morning, Star Lovelies, and welcome to another episode of The Devil's Details, a show where we dig up, decipher, dissect, and deconstruct the many forms of the devil. One of my names is Lester Ryan Clark.
And I sometimes go by Keenan Diaz.
And we're just two lost souls hitchhiking down the highway to hell. And just a reminder, today's episode was originally recorded as bonus content for our first podcast, The Exorcist Minute, so I think we should hand it over. Take it away, past Lester and Keenan. We stand in solidarity with the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. And folks, we are so excited. We are back with Solomon now. We are building that temple.
The temple that they completed in the last part of the story?
Yes, as you'll come to find, the temple is constantly in various stages of being built and not being built. But yeah, so we're still building it. We still got like a couple of final stones to put in there, right?
And all hail Solomon, the temple is built.
Yes, right. Also, the temple is built. Long live the temple. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, well. There we go. Yeah. But yes, so we're back in the apocryphal texts of the Testament of Solomon. And now we come to our final act, folks. Solomon has cowed all the demons, the temple is built, and the people of the world are happy because they are safe from the demons who would otherwise do them harm. Here is verse 108. And I, Solomon, had much quiet in all the earth, and spent my life in profound peace, honored by all men and by all under heaven. And I built the entire temple of the Lord God, and my kingdom was prosperous, and my army was with me. And for the rest, the city of Jerusalem had repose, rejoicing and delighted. And all the kings of the earth came to me from the ends of the earth to behold the temple which I builded to the Lord God. And having heard of the wisdom given to me, they did homage to me in the temple, bringing gold and silver and precious stones, and many diverse and bronze, iron and lead and cedar logs, and woods that decayed not they brought to me, for the equipment of the temple of God. So bringing materials, I don't know if that's for like sacrifice or if that's for like the completion of this
building the temple.
Of this temple. But yeah, now it goes on to say that even the Queen of Sheba, whom Solomon identifies as a witch, travels to visit him and pay homage to him. Homage?
I always say homage when it's literary, like, oh, this book is an homage to something else. But I think it's homage when it's like, yeah, you're genuflecting and paying a greater ruler than you, right?
Gotcha. epitome.
Homage.
Hamagi. Okay. And it is popularly believed that the Queen of Sheba did visit Solomon. It's mentioned in the Book of Kings and the Book of Chronicles, and there's more extra biblical stories about their relationship and how she comes to try to test his wisdom and how they may or may not have gotten married. And certainly here in this story, she's painted as a sorceress, perhaps to rival Solomon's magical abilities. I find it interesting that like he sees her as a witch, even though like in this story he's the guy doing all the sorceress stuff, right?
Like using demons for his own purposes, right?
Right. Yeah. But I guess like because he has permission from God, it's not witchcraft.
Right. So anyone who's not a believer in the true God is a witch or a sorcerer, or
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have all the rival kingdoms of the earth coming to congratulate Solomon on a job well done. So this is where the story would end, right?
Yeah. Sounds like it should have ended last episode. So
you would think, but no.
So let's end it now.
we still got Keenan. We still got a temple to build. We open up with a new bit here, right?
Okay.
It's almost a mirror to how we opened up at the beginning of the story with like a distressed person coming and bowing low before Solomon with yet another problem, right?
Okay.
Yeesh. What's a king got to do to get some peace around here? Right?
He's got all the infinite wisdom, right? So isn't that enough? Like in all of his infinite wisdom, shouldn't he know how to get peace around here?
Right? Yeah. That's what that's the downside of infinite wisdom is. People keep asking you stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah, they keep coming to you and say, like, is this my baby? And, like, shouldn't you know if this is your baby or not? Yeah. Cut it in half.
Yeah.
It's fine. Let's see what's in there.
That's his answer for everything. Yeah. But yeah, so this problem, though, is not at all supernatural. It seems to be a domestic squabble. But like to the millionth degree, right? So a father comes to Solomon saying that his son is physically and mentally abusing him, hitting him, insulting him, threatening to kill him. And so Solomon has this boy brought to him, and there is some confusion as to whether the boy admits this or denies it, right? The summaries that I'm reading, they all seem to treat his words as an apology, right? But I kind of get a different feeling from them. Keenan, let's you and I be Solomon for a second.
All right. We got some infinite wisdom of our own, I suppose, right? We got a podcast,
right?
So we can never be wrong.
Yeah. If Solomon had a podcast,
I'd give it 5 stars, or at least one 6-sided star.
I'd give it 72 stars. And it would, Keenan, it's perfect. It would be called The Testament of Solomon.
Right. Oh, my roommate keeps eating my food, and I don't like that. But I also know that he's having trouble because he's between jobs right now. And what do you think I should do? I would cut it in half. Cut the food or just cut it in half. Next caller.
Oh, of course he would be offering advice. That's his thing, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, okay. So now, back to this boy, right? He's brought for questioning. Now the summaries treat what he says, what I'm about to read, as an apology. But like I want us, the two Solomons, to kind of like what's the word? Decipher this.
Okay.
Okay. So quote. I was not so filled with madness as to strike my father with my hand. Be kind to me, O king, for I have not dared to commit such impiety. Poor wretch that I am. So, to me, Keenan, that is Solomon number 1. Or you can be Solomon number 1 if you want.
No, you go ahead. It's fine. You can be Solomon number 1.
See what I did there, folks? In my infinite wisdom, right? I offered up the part of Solomon number 1. All right. Anyway, but to me, that doesn't sound like an apology.
Well, okay, so I'm going to play Encyclopedia Brown here. Do you know Encyclopedia Brown?
No, I don't.
Okay, so these are these kids' mystery books I would read. I would read all of them when I was a kid. And so it'd be like 3 or 4 stories. Encyclopedia Brown was a kid detective. He was a genius, and he had a detective agency. And kids from around the town would bring him little mysteries, and he would solve it. And he would say, "Okay, I've solved this." And then at the end of the chapter, it would say, "Now you kids at home, how did Encyclopedia Brown know this?" And you have to figure it out. out yourself and think about it, and then you flip to the back of the book to get the answer.
Ooh, I like
yes,
this.
It was really good. I'm sure you would still like them today as a grown up.
Yeah.
But so this kid says, I was not so filled with madness as to strike my father with my hand. And that sets off all my Encyclopedia Brown spidey sense. And I say, not to strike your father with your hand, you must be beating him with a brick. You must be going out there and smashing bottles over his head and not striking him with your hand.
That's why this temple can't be built. We're missing bricks.
Exactly. So am I close?
I thought Ornius was eating them. But no, he only eats thumbs.
That's right. So how close am I? How well did I do? I know I did it well, but how well?
Well, no,
this mystery.
You most certainly did it very well, Keenan.
End of story. We'll see you next time.
There we go. That's it on the Solomon Minute. But no, it doesn't elaborate. It doesn't go further. It's just like everybody in the story assumes that this is an apology.
Like an admission of guilt. There.
Like an admission of guilt and an apology.
But he's specifically saying he didn't do it.
He's specifically, if we are to trust this English translation, which again, folks, this might be tricky because it's been translated.
Right.
But it sounds to me like he's not apologizing. It sounds like he's saying he didn't do it.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah. So and everything I watch and everything I read treats this like an apology, right? And even Solomon, Keenan, Solomon himself, not us, but the actual Solomon. No, not the actual Solomon, but the guy pretending to be Solomon for this testament, right?
Right.
He says, "But I, Solomon." On hearing this from the youth, exhorted the old man to reflect on the matter and accept his son's apology. However, he would not, but said he would rather let him die. And honestly, I don't know. Like this has to be a translation thing, like because it just doesn't sound like any kind of apology I've ever heard, right?
Uh-huh.
And it sounds like the father is the aggressor here,
right? He wants Solomon to execute his son for this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so in any case, we got Solomon, right? And he's about to pass judgment on this boy. Finally, right? We see Solomon doing some Solomon stuff, right?
Right.
Imagine if Solomon just had one answer for everything, right?
I think he does.
Yeah. It's just like, well, I guess there's nothing more to do except cut this child in half. Right? And then Solomon, and the father's like, yes. Solomon's like, wait, whoa, what?
He's supposed to say no.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to offer you the part of Solomon 1, and you're supposed to say no. I couldn't possibly.
Yeah.
I'll be Solomon 1. I'm always Solomon 1.
And I, Solomon 1.
Except your Solomon 2 judgment.
Yes. But yeah, okay, so it doesn't come to this, right? Solomon is about to pass judgment on this boy when he hears laughter. And not just any laughter, demonic laughter.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for these demons to come in.
Yeah. But, Keenan, not just any demonic laughter. Pesky demonic laughter. Sounding slightly muffled. And Solomon looks down at his thumb. He's like, hey!
No. That's not real, right? That's not.
Okay, so picture this, Keenan, right? We get a close-up of Solomon, right? Solomon, he's looking very solemn. He's Solomon, right? And he raises his hand out of frame, right? And he's going to do the Caesar thing, right? Like a thumbs up, thumbs down, right? Pass judgment on this kid. And then we cut to all the people, and they're looking. And then we close up to the old man, the father, and he's looking, right? And we close up on the boy, and he's looking. And then we close up on the thumb, right? And it's like tilting back and forth, and it's it's gonna go this way, it's gonna go this way, right? And then back to Solomon, right? And it's just his face, right? And he makes the judgment, and everyone gasps,
right?
And Solomon, he thinks they're gasping because of the judgment that he made, right? Because he doesn't see, even though it's like right in front of him, the frame doesn't allow him to see, right? What we don't see, right? And then the camera slowly pans over to his thumb, and there's Ornius floating in midair with Solomon's thumb in his mouth. And as one, the entire court is just like, Ornius! And in his Gilbert Godfrey voice, he's like, that's me! Right? Oh, no, wait, no. He'll do it with his thumb in his mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's like, that's me!
That sure sounded like Gilbert Godfrey with a thumb in his mouth, Lester. That's a very good impression. So,
yeah.
I don't know if you want to peel back the curtain here, did you? Did you put your thumb in your mouth to get that?
Okay, actually, yeah, folks. Just a little trip. Just a little BTS for you, right? It's not the bulletproof
podcast.
No. That is behind the scenes, right? So sometimes in your favorite animated movies and shows, right, you'll hear the characters eating, right, and sometimes it's like a chicken leg or a loaf of bread or something like that, right? But actually, the actors in the booth are actually eating stuff like KFC or like a nice tasty green apple, right? Which is actually it helps get rid of all the the moisture in your mouth, right? And I actually have an apple on hand right now. And it's green, and I was gonna do that. But I decided to be really, really method. And instead of biting the apple, I bit my thumb. So yeah,
right. That's dedication for you all at home.
Yep.
For your benefits.
Yeah.
Not because Lester just likes sucking his own thumb.
Hey.
And getting away with it in judge. Public.
What are we, Solomon? Yeah. But no, okay, that doesn't happen, right?
Okay.
Solomon hears Orneus laughing, right, in the crowd, and so he orders, the man and the boy to be escorted out of the room, and I guess the rest of the court also, they gotta leave, right? And so now he has Orneus alone, right? And he's like, why are you laughing? And Orneus says that he wasn't laughing at him, he was laughing with him. No, he was laughing not at Solomon, but at the situation. Right?
Do you suck my thumb at me, sir? No, I confess I suck your thumb, but I do not suck your thumb at you, sir.
For never was there a tale of more woe than Orneus and of Romeo.
Yeah, that's quite a Romeo. Yeah, it's demons and Oniskelus and
Oniskelus and Orneus, right?
Yeah. Or Romeo.
You can't marry her. She has donkey legs.
Donkey legs all over the place. Right. What's in a leg? With any other name that's Diaz donkey legged.
Yep. Right. This is the eternal feud between the donkey legs and
the Montagues.
Just the Montagues.
Just the Montagues. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh boy. Oh. Wherefore art thou, Orneus?
On my thumb.
Oh
wait, no. Wherefore does not mean.
No, yes.
Okay, save the letters. Yes, wherefore does not mean where are you?
We committed the ultimate Shakespeare sin.
Oh my gosh.
No, we know that wherefore means why.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh God. Oh, Beelzebub. Yeah. Okay. Keenan. As hard as it is to believe, that doesn't happen.
Okay, good.
Solomon hears Orneus laughing, right? And he gets him alone. He's like, "Why are you laughing?" Right? And Orneus says that this father and this son hate each other so much, and they can't get along. But actually, the son is going to die in 3 days.
Okay. So
that's why Orneus is laughing.
Oh, that's not very nice.
well, yeah, he's a demon.
Yeah, he's real pesky.
Yeah, he's very pesky. So Solomon tells Orneus to get out, right? And he brings the father and the son back in. Okay. And he commands them to reconcile and be at peace. And he gives them all this food and all these supplies. And he says to the father, come back to me in 5 days.
In 5 days?
With your son.
Okay.
Right? And bring your son, right? He wants to test Orneus's decree, right?
Okay.
Notice that at no time he tells the father and the son what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just like, I want to try something. Come back to me and bring your son in 5 days. Right?
Wink.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so they leave. And then he calls Orneus back in, and he's like, "Okay, how do you know this thing? How can you tell the future?"
Right.
And Orneus reveals that demons, for fun, I guess, they fly around the firmament. And folks, you'll remember, the firmament is that dome over the earth. It's like that patchwork quilt of stars and the moon and the sun and the sky and the clouds and all that stuff.
It's a real physical thing that the stars are hanging in.
Yes. Right. And so the demons are flying right up to the edge of the clouds, the firmament, and they eavesdrop on the angels who are pronouncing the fates of all the people below.
Okay.
So they hear snatches of prophecy that way, but because they have nowhere to land or rest their wings, they get tired and they fall to the earth. And then there's this little break where Orneus turns to the camera and he's like, and that's where falling stars come from. And Solomon's like, okay, I didn't ask about that, but whatever. So 5 days goes by, and Solomon is about to summon that old man, but the old man shows up himself.
Okay.
Alone. And Solomon says, "Old man, where is thy son? And what means this garb?" Because the old man is dressed in mourning clothes,
right?
Not like mourning clothes, but like
right.
like funeral clothes, right?
Right.
Yeah. And the old man says, "Lo, I am become childless, and sit by my son's grave in despair, for it is already 2 days that he is dead."
Mm.
Right.
And so what Solomon is like, okay, 2 days is 5 days. Is 3 to 4.
My king,
right.
Are you paying attention?
2 days, right? I got it. The math checks out.
Yeah. My lord, what math are you talking about? Like
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so the text goes, "But I, Solomon, on hearing that and knowing that the demon Orneus had told me the truth, glorified the God of Israel," which I hope he did that inwardly.
It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my king, my son died 2 days ago."
And you just hear from the throne, it's like, "Yes! It happened! Oh my God, I can't believe it." And he's just looking at this distraught father, and he's like, "You had to be there. You had to be there."
Right. Instead of, I was too busy being at my son's funeral.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, like now also at this time, apparently the Queen of Sheba is also still there.
Oh, okay.
And she marvels at this as well, right? Which again, I hope she did inwardly, right?
Right.
It's like just two people
Just whoops
sitting on thrones being
all
like,
around the
"Wow,
courtyard, right? Just whoop, whoop, whoop.
Solomon, that's amazing. I know, right?" But yeah, so like, and it goes on to say that like after seeing all the wonders of Solomon's court and all the riches and the miracles, the Queen of Sheba glorifies God. It doesn't like forget about the old man now.
Yeah, what's happening?
He's done. No, we don't hear anything more about him. We don't know if Solomon gives him compensation. We don't like it's all about the Queen of Sheba now and how she is glorifying God and she glorifies Solomon and their kingdoms are friendly forever. And if there was a part that sounds like it was written by Solomon, this would be it. It was like, yeah, she was mad impressed by all my skills and by my house and my stuff. And she wanted to be part of my kingdom, but I was like, nah, you do you, boo. And we stayed friends though, because but she really digs me.
Right.
Solomon. But yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So made the Queen of Sheba happy. That's good.
There we go. Right. Yeah. So yeah, once again, Keenan, it seems like this would be a great place to end the story.
Well, yeah,
right?
let's do it. All right. See you all next
this
time.
has been the Exorcist. This has been the Solomon Minute. No. But yeah, like you got the Queen of Sheba on your side, right? And apparently all the world is recognizing you as this great king and there's peace in the kingdom and you have demon spies who can tell you the future, right? Like,
so what else is there to do?
Yeah. Right. So time passes. Well,
how much time?
It doesn't say.
And this is at a time when people lived hundreds of years, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so we have no idea.
or actually, okay, just to be off topic about that, but like it's actually speculated that all of those like hundreds of years, right? Like people actually weren't like living hundreds of years. They were just like they got tired of counting, so they're like, I don't know, you're like 100.
You're like 300 years old.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So people were like it's in a big fish exaggeration thing. Like, oh, geez, he lived to, so Methuselah could have been like 35.
No.
Maybe not. Okay. Maybe not. Now I'm exaggerating. I'm going the other way. Yeah. But yeah.
But the number 40 is this. They use the number 40 just to mean like so much.
Yeah. A lot.
So 40 years, 40 years in the desert, 40 days and nights. Yeah. 40. Yeah, exactly. So if you're older than 40, then you might as well be 800 years old.
Wow. I did not expect to get that diss from the Bible. But no, wait, this isn't from the Bible. So
no, this isn't the Bible.
Yeah. But yeah, so like time passes and Solomon gets a letter. Right?
Okay.
The story says that it is from the king of Arabians.
Okay. Of Arabias. Okay.
Yeah, well, like literally the king of the Arabians.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. Again, folks, like I tried to figure out who this was. I was trying to like match it with like some historical context, but like the land of Arabia is like, we don't even know what that means, right? They're definitely not talking about like Saudi Arabia because that wasn't a thing. Yet,
right. Yeah. So the Arabian Peninsula, that's a thing. And, but the kingdom, where would that, like, Sheba, there's still like debate about like where Sheba is. And, Solomon's mother was potentially from Sheba. She was a Hittite, Bathsheba.
Bathsheba, yeah.
But some people in those countries that are like, okay, no, we have this, historical evidence that people thought like, oh, Sheba was this great country. And so, if you're Yemen, you might be like, oh, that's us, right? This is evidence that we were great back then. Or if you were Ethiopia, that's us. Or Sudan, that's us, right?
Yeah. So this letter comes from the king of the Arabians. They even name him Adares, which again, like I tried to find, if any of you guys out there know who this text is referring to,
ask him to write in.
Yeah. Please let us know. Right? Oh, yeah. Ask the king of the Arabians to write in.
Yeah. Tell him we're looking for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's good at writing letters. He wrote a letter to Solomon.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, there we go. Speaking of which, okay. So this letter reads, to King Solomon, this took me off guard a little bit because this is the first time that a verse doesn't start with "and I, Solomon."
But it's about Solomon. It's about Solomon.
It's addressed to Solomon. Yeah. I imagine Solomon reading it. It's like, to King Solomon. It's like, hey, that's me.
Hey, everybody, look.
A letter to me, Solomon. Yeah, okay. So the letter goes, to King Solomon, all hail. Lo, we have heard, and it hath been heard unto all the ends of the earth concerning the wisdom vouchsafed in thee, and that thou art a man merciful from the Lord. And understanding hath been granted thee over all the spirits of the air, and on the earth, and under the earth. Now, for as much as there is present in the land of Arabia a spirit of the following kind, at early dawn there begins to blow a certain wind until the 3rd hour. And its blast is harsh and terrible, and it slays man and beast, and no spirit can live upon the earth against this demon. I pray thee then, for as much as the spirit is a wind, contrive something according to the wisdom given in thee by the Lord thy God, and deign to send a man able to capture it. And behold, King Solomon, I and my people and all my land will serve thee unto death. And all Arabia shall be at peace with thee, if thou wilt perform this act of righteousness for us. Wherefore we pray thee, condemn not our humble prayer, and suffer not to be utterly brought to naught the eparchy subordinated to thy authority, because we are suppliants, both I and my people, and all my land. Farewell to my lord. All health. So, this is interesting.
I'm having trouble following what he's saying here.
Okay. So just to give kind of like the Cliff's Notes version of that, right?
The because Cliff's Notes, yes.
Yeah, right. It is very. This is Keenan. This is when kings talk to other kings.
Exactly. Just say what you're saying. It's
just all of us are looking like oh my god, whatever. It's like, geez. Yeah.
Just tell me what you want.
Yes, right. So basically what's going on is this king is being menaced, and his kingdom is being menaced by this wind demon.
Okay.
Which could be a jinn.
Right.
It's speculated in some interpretations. But he appears at 3 a.m. every day. Which, witching hour, but I don't think witching hour was a thing back then.
Right. Hadn't been invented yet.
Yeah. So coincidence, right? So this wind demon just blows everything to bits, right?
Got it.
Kills people, kills animals. Not even other spirits can live on the earth as long as this demon is causing havoc with his wind powers, right? So he says, it's like, hey, like, you're Solomon. We've heard of Solomon. You can do all these great things. Can you send somebody out to fix this wind demon problem? And
surely
if you do that,
could, right?
Yeah, of course, he's Solomon. Right? Yeah. And so this king is like, if you do that, like, we will be forever indebted to you, and we'll love you forever, and we'll our kingdoms will be friends, right? Which I thought had already happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought all the kingdoms of the earth were.
And I thought he got all the demons everywhere.
Yeah, right. And the temple was already built, right? Whatever. So that's what's going on. Like, he's saying, like, if you do this, like, we'll be your friends forever.
So there's one demon left at least.
Well, at least.
You got all because you got the prince of the demons, Beelzebub, to get all the other demons, but I guess not this one.
Yeah, not this one.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So and actually, this is interesting because this new demon isn't brought to Solomon by the command of Beelzebub.
Oh, right.
Or the ring, or Orneus even, right? we just hear about how he's out in the world causing trouble, right? Kind of like the beginning of our story with Orneus. And maybe since we're getting close to the end, this is like intentional. This is like a chiastic structure thing. Have you heard of that, Keenan? Chiastic structure?
Chiastic.
So so this is like, I only know about this from a podcast that talks about Shakespeare, folks. Apparently like in Julius Caesar, like we open with a battle and we close with a battle.
Okay, right.
You know, the story ends in much the same way that it began, right? Like there are events in that mirror the beginning of the story, right? But now, like
Prince in Romeo and Juliet.
Exactly, right? Yeah, right. Or let's see. Like Macbeth, like they happen upon the witches at the beginning, right? Or maybe the witches ambush them, or but they prophesy all this stuff that's going to happen, right?
Okay.
And at first Macbeth is like not sure what to do, whether to trust the witches, but then like by the end he's going back to the witches of his own accord, and he's like asking for more prophecy, right? So,
okay.
So here we have what feels almost like the beginning of the story, right? The beginning of a new part, right? Solomon is thriving, right? He's living his best life,
doing his thing.
He's doing his thing, right? He's got his temple sometimes.
He's got all his demons with him.
Right. He's got all his demons, right? He definitely put a ring on it. Jeez. Like he's got all his demons, right? He's got the ring. He's got the Riz, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves him. And this new part starts with a king of a foreign nation asking for his help, right? And again, folks, like, we don't know who this king is. Even like the Queen of Sheba, for example, is never referred to as the Queen of Sheba in this text, right? She's a queen from the south, right? And scholars had to like piece that together, that they were talking about Balkis, Queen of Sheba, right? And so I couldn't find, again, like we don't know about this king of Arabia. But so this
it's like Arabia isn't unified yet, so it kind of, I don't know, feels like saying like India when India wasn't like formed yet. It's like, this guy is like the king of a huge region that isn't unified yet.
Right. The land of far away, right?
Right.
Yeah. But so he gets this letter, right? And he puts it away.
What? He files it?
Yeah, he files it. He gives it to one of the demons, right? Because what else do they got to do? They're done building the temple.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah. So what are all these demons up to now? If the temple's all built and they?
Well, I would imagine, Keenan. I mean, like, so you're saying why doesn't? So Keenan, you're saying why doesn't Solomon just let these demons go?
Hey, don't put those words in my mouth. Or is it some liberal namby-pamby wants to let all the demons out? I'm saying so he has them, but all the problems are solved. So what are these demons doing? Because in part of the story is that like he's keeping them busy, and then that's part of why they can't be, wrecking ships and killing babies and causing diseases, right?
Yeah. So I imagine like once the temple is all done, eventually. Sometimes, again, there is the question of like what do I do with these demons? Because like if he lets them go, then we're gonna have more shipwrecks and more famine and more like all of that stuff, right? So maybe that is why it's taken so long to build the temple. It's like while you're here, like this temple could use some carpet.
You're right.
It could use some
heated floors.
Yes. I don't like these light fixtures. They're not, they're not with my vibe. So if we could change these out,
some recessed LED lighting,
right. He doesn't want to imprison them. He's just going to keep them busy for eternity.
Eternity.
Right? Yeah. But so where was I? I was talking about this letter. So he gets this letter. This king asking him for help. It sounds like this kingdom is in a bit of a spot, right? They got this wind demon, and Solomon just kind of like forgets about it.
Right, but he's friends with Israel is friends with all the kingdoms of the world now, except
for this one that, that they don't know about, right?
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
But so he doesn't immediately act and go and help this guy, right? Okay. He leaves him unread, as the kids say, right? And they continue building the temple. But they're almost done, Keenan. They're almost done.
Oh, good. Thank goodness.
They are laying the final stone. Okay. Right, which is either the cornerstone or the capstone.
Now that matters.
That really matters. That's very important. When I was reading this, I was like, oh, I guess the cornerstone and the capstone is like, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
No.
Is that why the temple is not finished, Keenan?
Well, none of these demons are like the demon of architecture.
It's true, right?
They cut logs with their teeth, and they're really good at digging, but they're not. Yeah,
and sucking thumbs. Yeah.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah, right. But yeah, now I just imagine like these three demons, and they're just like looking. It's like, all right, boss said we got to put this capstone in. It's like, oh, turns out it was the cornerstone. Whoa!
Oh, you knucklehead!
Right, and just like bash all their heads together. Yep. Yeah. But yeah, so they're going to place the final stone of the temple, right?
Finally.
I promise. I, Solomon, promise. This is the last one, right? And everybody's gathered around. Everyone's gathered around to see, right? And to put it into place. But nobody, Keenan, not the workmen, not the demons, not anybody, right? We're not counting Solomon because he's just standing there, right? It's like nobody can do this, right? Solomon, with my magic ring given to me by God, and nobody can lift this thing. Right?
It's so heavy, too heavy.
It's too heavy, yeah, right? So nobody can lift the stone and set it in place, right? And then Solomon is like, oh yeah, that king.
my best friend I've never heard of.
Right? And so he calls his servant over and he says, take this ring.
Okay.
He is really giving this ring away to everybody. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is not Tolkien's ring where it's like, keep it secret, keep it safe. Right.
Right. And so he gives it away a lot, and it's his ring that proves who he is. And this is Solomon who got replaced by a demon for like a couple months, right?
Right. Yeah. And we're talking about that story in the Talmud, folks, where Asmodeus like steals his ring, uppercuts him into the sky, and then impersonates Solomon for a while. Until Solomon gets back.
There's a Odyssey. Yeah. So
yeah,
he's
I'm gonna say 40 days, 40 nights. 100 years. Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
So he's pretty loosey goosey with his ID here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Again, also, it's a signet ring, folks. Right. Yeah, this is your ID. This is like, this shows that you're Solomon, right? Yeah. Can you, like, is that how it happened? Like Asmodeus was just like, hey, can I have that ring?
He's like, oh, sure, here you go.
Yeah. And then only after he's like, wait a minute, and then he gets punched.
Oh, sure, have this ring. Michael gave it to me in the temple. And
yeah. The temple.
It was bestowed upon me by God.
Are you talking about the temple that we're building right now?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Well, all right. Makes sense.
Things have really changed around here. You used to look around. It used to be all temple as far as the eye could see.
Not since these demons moved in.
Built this temple.
Yeah. Building all these temples where there used to be temples. Yeah. Ay. All right, but yeah, so Solomon is like, take this ring and take this flask or this bottle and go to the land of Arabia and find this wind demon and point the ring and the flask at him, and he'll be sucked up into the flask.
Okay.
So, and then seal it with the ring, right? Again, like there is a lot more work to this ring than Tolkien's ring, right? It's like you got to make magical. You got to point it at things, right? You got to use it in all these creative ways.
There's instructions and warnings, right? Right. Yes. Tolkien just has 2 rules. Right. Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Yep. That's it. Yep. But yeah. So, okay. So he tells this youth, right? He's being loosey goosey with the ring, and he's being loosey goosey with youths. He's just like, it's like, I'm gonna cut this baby in half.
Right.
I'm gonna like a kid dies by the prophecy
right, like
of angels overheard by and he's like, wow, right. And now he's like, I got to solve this wind demon problem. Do we have any more little boys here?
Right. He's not gonna send a demon out there.
No,
those are valuable.
No, that's my labor. Right. We also can't have demons corroborating with other demons.
Right.
We can't do that. No. Right. But yeah. So he says to the youth, he says, once you have the demon in the bottle, head back here with all speed. Don't listen to anything the wind demon says. If he begs you to let him go, don't do it. If he offers you gold and silver, tell him it's against our policy to accept gifts of money or goods. If he asks you how much I'm paying you an hour, do not tell him. If he offers you health insurance, he's lying. If Solomon Co. If Solomon Co. can't afford to give you health insurance, the demons certainly can't because they're not a family like us. How many pizza parties does Beelzebub give his employees?
Right, very little, clearly.
Yeah. Answer me this. Do the demons get to make the pizzas themselves? I don't think so.
Do you mean the demons are enslaved to make their own pizza?
No, they get to make their own pizza. I don't think, Keenan, you understand how fun Solomon Co. is.
Right. It's not like work. And, at the end of every
quarter... You don't
quarter,
get a bed. You get to sleep in a little cot outside. Food and water, that just gets in the way of fun.
At the end of every quarter, they each department at Solomon Co. has little sales contests, and you get little prizes like little pens and tote bags, and one of the departments gets to draw, and they get to hit Solomon in the face with the pie. Right. They go and they really try to hit him though, but it's all
of that pent up aggression.
It's all fun though.
No, we're just having fun. We're just fun. Someone put a rock in this pie. Yeah. Trying to think. What was the last thing I got?
I don't remember.
I got a little notepad
with the company's name on it.
Yeah. Well, now I know what to do with this pen with the company's name on it.
Right.
Throw it away. Oh God. Yeah. And if he points out where there is hidden treasure on the way back, that's company property.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. So mark its location on the map and bring that back to me also. Right.
So what, demons know where treasure is in this?
I think that's it. I think that's like a common thing, right? Like the demons have, the power of the earth, right? They know all the secret hidden knowledge-y things.
Okay.
And, they know where the treasure is buried and all that stuff. Yeah. Right,
okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, where my treasure is, boy.
Right, yeah. Where Solomon and Co.'s treasure. It belongs to you, but it belongs to us because we're a family.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll direct deposit your share, but it's taxable, but it's
right,
free. It's free.
Right. The treasure will trickle down. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so now it has been speculated that the reason Solomon doesn't act right away, specifically because this particular demon is actually a jinn. And like back then, it was believed by the Israelites that anybody outside of Israel, right, so the land of Arabia, right, they were thought to worship jinn. So Solomon's like, you get what you get. That's
gotcha. Yeah, you've got your religions, and whatever it is, you must be doing it wrong. And yeah.
All right. But yeah, so okay, Keenan. We have 21st century eyes and 21st century minds, and we are looking at Solomon's antics, and we are thinking he's a little arrogant.
Right.
He's a bit of a bully. He's absolutely 100% not a feminist. He loves the ladies and the lady demons.
Lady demons, yeah, for sure.
Right, yeah.
Girl, what those donkey legs do?
Oh, Jesus. Oh God. Yeah, but and now so far we assume that the readers are on Solomon's side in all this, right? But scholars are actually wondering at this point, after Solomon's great success with the building of the temple, again, would the first readers of this tale now look at these actions and be like, aha, this is the beginning of the end. This is the start of Solomon's downfall, right?
Right.
Because to us, he's not behaving too differently than he already was.
Right. But that's a really good point. So we've had, who was it? Oniskelus or somebody saying like, I foresee your downfall. That's happening.
Right. That was one of the seven sisters.
Oh, right. So that's already happened. And then we also have, this is a character you're familiar with, right? The historical King Solomon who's in the Bible. So you already know that he has a downfall, and you're probably just expecting that to happen any moment.
Yeah. So actually, this could be like, people could be reading this and like we're getting a little bit more of like a characterization of the historical figure of Solomon, and be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I can see how this guy kind of like strayed away from the true path.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah. So and some folks point out that from this point, as the story goes, we get less and less of Solomon praising and glorifying God. Right. The last time we had that was when that kid died.
Yeah, he's oh, glory be to God, and then the Queen of Sheba's glory be to God. Everyone all over, just Hoseia's everywhere. Right?
Yeah. But so we have less of him, like glorifying God, and more of him like doing these like side deals with these demons, right? It's like, hey, tell me where all the treasure is buried or whatever, right? Yeah. So in any case, right, this kid, another kid, right, goes to Arabia, and when he gets there, everyone gives him trouble because he's not Solomon. It's like, what? Solomon can't come here by himself, right? Like, what's this kid gonna do?
He's busy building the temple.
He's busy building the temple, right? I thought the temple was completed. No. You would think that.
He's busy building that temple. That's so great. And that's why we heard about him and sent this emissary.
Oh, yeah, the temple. I heard about that. Solomon in the temple. Yeah. But yeah, but because this kid has the magic ring, he is able to capture the demon. And like, just to prove that the demon is no longer menacing, this kingdom, he kind of stays in the kingdom for a little bit, right?
Okay.
And just kind of show that there's like no more like wind storms, right? So it's like he definitely has this demon, right? I personally think it was like to just have a few more days away from Solomon.
Yeah.
It's like he's probably telling the demon all about it. It's like, God, this guy, right? It's like, well, he can't be that bad. It's all you're gonna meet him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wait. Yeah.
He doesn't honor your paid time off requests. No, he's terrible.
No.
He says everybody has to work on Rosh Hashanah, and everybody has to work on Passover, and everybody has to work on Yom Kippur.
Solomon, the king of Israel.
Right.
Come on. Oh. Right. So this kid's like, I'm on vacation. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm,
Good for him.
Right. So then we cut to Solomon, right? It's like, meanwhile, back in Israel, right? And Solomon, he's brooding about that cornerstone, right? Or that capstone that no one can lift.
Yeah, one of these days we'll figure out which goes where.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there, right? And he's all in a huff, right? He's grumpy Solomon, right? And he enters the temple, and lo and behold, there is the flask with the demon, right? So the kid brought it back, and he just left it at the in the temple. And
rather than having to talk to Solomon,
I know. He's like, I got things to do today.
I'm just gonna leave this here.
Like, this is gonna be another 8 hours of Solomon. I'm just gonna leave this here. So there's the bottle, right? And it stands up with little wind demon feet.
Oh, I love it.
and it walks over to Solomon and it bows. And Solomon's really impressed. He's like, wow, this demon must be really powerful if it can do that from inside the bottle, right? So here's what it says in verse 121, right? And I questioned him, telling me, who art thou? And the spirit within said, I am the demon called Ephipus, that is in Arabia. And I said to him, is that thy name? And he answered, yes. Wheresoever I will, I alight and set fire and do to death. Now, nothing is written here to elaborate this, but I'm guessing that Ephipus means the thing he just said afterward, like it's a pun or something. Just because of the way that it's like phrased, right? It's like, so he's like, Solomon's like, okay, who are you? And he's like, I am Ephipus. And Solomon's like, okay, is that your name? And he's like, yes.
Right.
Because I do all of these things. Right?
They're obvious. Or he's just like, yeah, I just said that.
Yeah. That is my name. That is what I am called.
Right. Don't wear it out.
Yeah. Are you're supposed to be wise, aren't you? Like, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, it's either lost to us or it's never elaborated. So anyway, so Solomon continues. He asks Ephipus, gosh, it's hard to say, what angel frustrates him? And Ephipus says, by the only ruling God that hath authority over me, even to be heard. He that is to be born of a virgin and crucified by the Jews on a cross. whom the angels and archangels worship. He doth frustrate me and enfeeble me of my great strength, which has been given me by my father, the devil.
Now, Lester.
Yes. I think I know what you're going to say here.
To see what this whole thing has been about now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
So the Jews, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't Solomon the king of Israel?
Yeah. So by this time, Solomon is wondering, who the heck are all these demons talking about?
Right.
This guy born of a virgin who's going to be crucified on a cross, and also the Jews.
Right.
Like, what? Yeah. So I feel like Solomon, am missing something here.
So
right?
I don't know if we've talked about this on the show. So our listeners might know, right? Like there's attempts often by authors after the writing of the Bible, which is what this is, right? Who are trying to distinguish Christians from Jews by I was trying to be respectful.
You were going to say retconning?
Yeah, I don't need to be disrespectful. These people, these are the people who are like twisting what's happening, and saying like the Jews killed Christ, which is
right
on its face, people who don't know and aren't really thinking critically about it, like the Jews are different from us as Christians, so of course they're against us, whatever. But Jesus was a Jew, and so like the distinction between the Jews doing something to Jesus, who said he was a rabbi and that he was he was bringing in a new form of Judaism, essentially, right? Like that is something that is put on afterwards in order to bring on your anti-Semitic views and give them a historical sheen to them.
Yeah, right. No. Yeah, no.
Is that what this whole thing is? The whole time?
The whole time.
That's what this is?
The whole time, this is an anti-Semitic text.
Is that it?
With a demon that's born of a Shart. And another one that sucks kids' thumbs.
Right. But is that what this is? Is it like, now we're making fun? Is that what this whole thing has been about? Like making fun of Solomon and using him to,
I don't want to, I don't think we can go that far.
Okay, all right.
I don't think this is a... like this is the one and only objective of this text.
Okay.
But you are absolutely correct in identifying this later after the fact addition that is very, very anti-Semitic. And yeah, folks, like Keenan is saying, like you go back and you look at some of these passages in the Bible, and they seem very, very anti-Semitic. And that is because, like, as Christianity is developing and kind of like separating from Judaism, out of which it was birthed, it starts to unfortunately adopt a lot of hateful and harmful.
Yeah.
Historically, we have proof of that. Harmful messages, and those are then put back into the Bible as if they were already there.
Right.
That's the problem. Is be like, oh, this was the plan the whole time. Right.
The whole time.
Yeah. The whole time. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and then there's like, Christian philosophers who come about later, and they're like, the story of the Jews and the Christians are like Cain and Abel, right? And so they use that idea, and like they say, okay, like the Jews being Cain, who slew their brother Christ, like what God did was he didn't wipe out Cain. He let Cain live, but have a mark of Cain, and that's what we should be doing in to our Jewish cousins, as it were, and keep them around, but keep them persecuted.
Ugh, yeah. So then, just like being the inspiration for all of these, like, all of these horrible people and horrible institutions using this holy book and weaponizing it against people, right? And that's the So that is the unfortunate result of that, right? But we can see, like, even as far back as here, right, 1st to 3rd century BCE, right, it was being used like that, right? So we have these demons who can tell the future, right? Talking about Christ being crucified and referring to the Hebrew people as the Jews,
right?
To Solomon's face,
right? Who was the king of the king of Israel, right? Again, like that's not a thing that he would have referred to himself as the king of the Jews or anything, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So but this is one of the again, like we're speculating on. It's like, well, why is this not accepted as canon, right? But yeah, this is one of those reasons. Right, yeah, and the demon that was born from a Shart. But yeah, so oddly, but I guess not oddly, because we know that Solomon didn't write this. He doesn't ask for clarification after this big prophecy, right? Because he's Solomon, definitely, right? He's not. a character written by an anti-Semitic Christian way later, right? This is Solomon, right? See the title? See whose testament this is? It doesn't say Testament of Anti-Semitic Christians with overactive imaginations, does it? No. It says Testament of Solomon. But yeah, so we get another demon frustrated by God or Jesus, right?
Right.
Like we're running out of, like we very quickly ran out of like angels. And now it's just God or Jesus, right? But yeah, so Solomon asks him what he does. He asks this demon, Ephipus, right? And the demon's like, oh, I'm really strong. Like I'm the strongest demon you ever did see, right? I'm as strong as the wind. I can move really big, heavy stones like cornerstones or capstones, like I can overthrow the oaths of kings. I can wither trees and make their leaves fall off. And Solomon's like, wait, go back to that first thing. And he's like, overthrow the oaths of kings? And he's like, no. The other thing you do, wither trees and make the leaves fall off? He's like, no. And Ephipus is like, oh, right. The other thing I can do, get my ass handed to me by Jesus. And Solomon's like, no, you said you could lift heavy rocks. Can you lift this cornerstone of the temple?
Right. First of all, that's a capstone. That's your first problem.
That's your first problem here. That's your first problem here, right? He's just got the worker's belt, right? The tool belt. The worker's belt, Lester.
Hey, you got real soft hands, Lester.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And yeah, so Ephipus is like, oh yeah, sure, I can do that, right? And I can also call up Beelzebub's son from the Red Sea, and we'll give you the pillar of the air. Yeah, I can do lots of things, right? But okay, so no. What he says really in the end of verse 122, he says, "Not only raise this, O king, but also with the help of the demon who presides over the Red Sea, I will bring up the pillar of air, and will stand it where thou wilt in Jerusalem." So now we have this new MacGuffin.
Okay, right.
Am I using that right?
Well, MacGuffin is a Hitchcockian term that he said just sort of means something that people think is valuable, but it's sort of interchangeable. It doesn't really actually matter. Like if it's like plans to the base, or it is money, or
or like a
password,
a magic
ring. Doesn't actually matter what it is.
Oh, okay.
Well, magic ring, no, because the magic ring, then you use the magic ring for certain things.
Oh, okay, so it's like it's the chalice that you got to get. Or
it doesn't matter what it is, right? You just have to go get it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like the witch's broom. Like it's not like you're going to bring back the witch's broom and then you're going to use that to fly back to Kansas. I just need you to bring this thing.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. Or the head of I don't know, something. Yeah. Orneus is like, bring me back that thumbs.
Why? You know.
Yeah, don't ask me.
Yeah. You know what this is.
You know. You're watching me do it right now. I mean, you're watching me do it right now. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, so not only does Ephipus say that he can lift this final stone, right? But he's also gonna like call up Beelzebub's son, right? Remember, who lives in the Red Sea, and give them the pillar of air.
Right.
Right? Which it does not specify what this is. But
we're not gonna find out.
Well, yes and no. Right.
I came all the way to this office today. I got set on my microphone.
You're
not going to tell me what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So, Keenan, let's see if you can guess what happens next.
Okay.
Right. So we have with us a demon of the wind who can, with his awesome wind powers, move mountains and wither trees, which some speculate is like that's talking about erosion.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Which would make sense, like talking about the wind. He has said that he can move that cornerstone, this awesome wind demon. Can you guess what happens next?
Gonna lift up that stone with the wind?
No. Still in the bottle. Folks, I don't know if you forgot whilst visualing this tale that we are weaving, but the demon has been talking to Solomon the whole time. Inside the bottle with his little feet poking out.
Yeah, love it.
So I certainly forgot about this until it comes back. So this little bottle walks over to the stone, and with his little legs, he hefts it onto his back like he's doing a squat.
What back?
The back of the bottle.
Back? Oh, I guess so.
Right? And still in the bottle, he lugs that stone into place, thus completing the first temple of Israel. Again.
It's what Solomon had prayed for at the beginning of the story in the temple. So this part of the story opens with the temple being done.
Keenan, every part of the story opens with the temple being done.
Right. There's only one, a lot of anthropologists point out there's only one story ever told in human history, and it begins with the temple being completed.
The temple being built.
In cultures wide and far.
Yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, like, you would expect this wind demon who can move mountains to be, like, made specifically for this task. Right? And that's the reason he's a wind demon. That's the reason we had this whole little side quest where he's like blowing everything to smithereens and we capture him in the bottle, right? Like using wind. No, he just shoves it into place while he's still in the bottle.
Great.
Right?
Well, as long as it got done, I guess. I mean, if I'm Solomon, I'm great. One less thing to do.
Yep.
We got to get to bed early and build that temple tomorrow.
So we get up at 3 a.m. and we build a temple every day. Well, no, I don't.
Right.
My people do. I don't. I don't even get up. It's like I need my beauty rest because I'm Solomon.
Exactly.
Right? But I don't know why they had him like be a wind demon if they didn't have him use his, unless I can imagine that Solomon being Solomon, he made this demon do it. That way out of like sheer vindictiveness. No, you can't use your wind powers. You got to do this the hard way. Right.
Tell me your skills. Oh, I'm a wind demon, etc. And you can lift things. Great. Well, you better start stretching those legs.
Yep. Looks to me like you skipped leg day. You're not going to skip it anymore. No. Okay. I actually want to touch on two things here. So after the final stone is in place, Solomon actually says in the text, he says, quote, "Truly, the scripture is fulfilled. The stone which the builders rejected on trial, that same is become the head of the corner.
Okay.
For this is not mine to grant, but God's, that the demon should be strong enough to lift up so great a stone and deposit it in the place I wished." Okay, so this might be familiar to a lot of you, right? Here, Solomon is commenting on Psalm 118, which talks about a cornerstone, could be translated as cornerstone or capstone, right? Being at first rejected and then becoming the most important stone, right? The cornerstone, like in the building of the temple, right? There have been many interpretations of this psalm. The Israelites see themselves as the rejected stone, rejected, persecuted, enslaved by the rest of the world, but chosen by God to be the foundation of his new temple, right? That's beautiful. Right? Christians see Jesus as the rejected stone, right? Raised up to be the most important stone in a new temple, right? A new covenant, right? In Islam, similarly, this parable appears to be talking about Muhammad, right? And all of these religions then go on to extend this metaphor of the rejected stone to talk about you, the reader, you personally, with all of your flaws, flaws that our modern holy teachers say is what makes you perfect in the eyes of God, right? This is such a beautiful parable for like when we feel rejected, when we feel low or less than, right? Or just like not good enough, right? I love this metaphor of the rejected stone becoming like the foundation of a new temple, right? But this is the first time I have seen someone interpret it 100% literally to the point where we have a walking bottle with tiny legs literally go over to a stone which was earlier rejected and to muscle it into place like a reverse Jenga game.
Well, I like him. I like this guy. I'm a big fan of his and
of Ephipus, the wind demon in the bottle.
Yes, the version of him in the bottle. And you have rejected him, and I see him as perfect and being the capstone of this story.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is he's perfect as long as he's in prison.
I'd say that about most people, yeah.
Well, yeah. So, okay. Second thing I want to talk about is this wind demon's claim that he is the son of the devil. Right? He says in verse 122 that his powers were given to him, quote, by my father, the devil.
Do you know who my father is?
Do you know who my father is? All right. Now, Keenan, you'll remember that last time we talked to Abezithabod, whom we believe in this story is to be equivalent to the devil, right?
Okay.
He's certainly the king of demons, right? Or the exarch of demons, as he says.
Right.
And Solomon had sat him down in a comfy chair And they had chatted about personal things. And one of the things that Beelzebub said was that he too had a son who lives in the Red Sea.
Right.
Solomon asked Beelzebub to bring his son to him, and Beelzebub refused. But he also said that he would summon a demon called Ephipus. Hey! And that Ephipus would bring Beelzebub's son to Solomon. So here's Ephipus.
Right.
But he's claiming to be the son of the devil.
Right, so let me bring out my calculator here. Hold on. He's the son of the devil, but then Ephipus is a different demon. Yeah, hey!
And he wasn't summoned by Beelzebub that we know of.
Right.
And now he's claiming to be Beelzebub's son.
Right.
So, do you think this could possibly be another twist in our soap opera as the underworld turns?
It turns out that, the same person.
Yeah. Or is this a mistake?
You say mistake. I say a rejected cornerstone that becomes the.
Yes, this is the most important plot point right here. It's the capstone plot point. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Yeah. So the text is unclear about this. And it gets even more unclear as it goes. Solomon never asks Ephipus for clarification about his father, the devil. Right. Instead, he takes him up on his offer now to go and fetch Beelzebub's son from the Red Sea and bring him forth along with the pillar of the wind, which is also stuck in the Red Sea for some reason.
Okay.
It's like, oh, pillar of the wind in the Red Sea, you mean? Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
I thought that this demon son had he brings forth the pillar of the wind, not that the pillar of the wind is some separate idea. Am I mistaken here?
I think. Well, the pillar of the wind is a tangible thing.
Okay, it's not like a power of this demon, right?
No.
Okay,
no. It's an actual thing. And in some interpretations, I've seen Beelzebub's son as trapped under it.
Okay.
So that's where he is. Even though Beelzebub was talking about, it's I have a son and he dwells in the Red Sea and he does all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, I thought with the pillar
and I support
of the
him.
Right.
Oh, with the pillar. Oh, okay, yeah. So it could be like a ring situation there, right? Like he's cursed by it, he's weighted down by it, but he can also manipulate things with it. I don't know. And I don't think the writers knew either, right? Or let's say the translators of the latest version, right? Maybe the early writers knew.
Yeah, they must have understood what was going on. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, sure, Keenan. You just give them the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Okay, so now, Keenan, this is our last demon.
Oh, great.
The son of Beelzebub from the depths of the Red Sea, right? You could say that this was the final boss right here.
Let's say he's the final boss.
Let's say that, right? He has been trapped under the pillar of air.
Yeah, this is our M. Bison.
Yes, right? Which is actually Balrog in translation. Folks, if you don't know that, M. Bison is not M. Bison. He's actually, M. Bison was supposed to be the boxer.
Mike Tyson.
Who looks a lot like Mike Tyson, if you notice. Yeah. So Balrog. No, actually, no, it's not Balrog. Is he Balrog?
That sounds right.
No, I think he's Vega.
He's Vega, and then they gave Vega to the Spanish guy.
Yeah. But Vega is Balrog.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. But we just, you know who M. Bison is.
He's the last guy.
Anyway. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is our final boss.
Okay,
right?
Great.
Strapped into the okay, but yeah. So this pillar of air, right? We don't know what this is. People think it's the Milky Way.
Okay.
Possibly, because it has a purple tinge to it. It has been identified as purple in the text.
Cool.
Yeah, and if you look at the Milky Way, it's kind of like this big purple stretch of stars, right?
Right.
They also think it could be the pillar of cloud from Exodus. Right?
Okay.
It never specifies what this thing is or why it's in the sea, right? But Beelzebub's son is trapped under it, and he's about to be set free at the behest of Solomon. The stage is set for a most apocalyptic battle, right? Ephipus, the wind demon, descends into the depths of the Red Sea. He dislodges the pillar of the air, and as one, the two demons erupt to the surface, holding the pillar aloft. The son of Beelzebub is free. And in that same verse, before anyone can do or say anything, as soon as the demons emerge from the water, Solomon uses his ring, and now they're bound for all eternity to the pillar of air, holding up the sky.
Okay.
So maybe it is the Milky Way.
So it sounds like a creation myth. But wasn't it already up there? It was pretty late for a creation myth thing.
Well, no, it was in the sea. Weren't you following, Keenan?
I thought
after God was done with it, it was the pillar of clouds. He chucked it into the sea. It fell on the son of Beelzebub.
Okay.
He was trapped there for 40 years and 40 nights.
All right.
And then Ephipus got it off of him.
This feels kind of late in the chronology for figuring it out. For inventing the sky, as we know
For
it.
inventing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. And then, completely going against narrative order.
Oh, now we're going against narrative order.
But this is when Solomon talks to his new demon, the son of Beelzebub, right? He's already got him. But now he does his typical interview thing, right? Okay. So he's like, what's your name, right? And the demon answers that he is, I'm going to try to say this, he is Abezithabod.
Okay.
Abezithabod.
You convinced me. That sounds great.
Right? I am the demon Abezithabod. Abezithabod. This is apocryphal ASMR. And Solomon spoke to the demon Abezithabod. It would be like one, on both of your on both sides of your ears. Like one is like
right.
Abezithabod.
And
Solomon said to him, Abezithabod, you look so hungry. Here, have an apple.
Now, this is all to say that you can hire Lester anytime you want for anything like this. You're not above doing ASMR, right?
I'll do me some ASMR. I got a really sexy voice. Everybody right now is getting hot under the collar.
Right. How many things can we put in Lester's mouth in this episode while he talks?
We got the apple. We got the thumb.
It'll have some mystery object at the end. You can write it and guess what it is. TheExorcistMinute.com. No, that's not true. The Exorcist Minute.
The pillar of the air? Anyway. Okay. So he's talking to this demon. Abezithabod. And he says, so the demon says that that's his name, and he says that he is the descendant of an archangel.
Okay.
So he doesn't say Beelzebub.
Right.
Which is noteworthy. But Beelzebub did say that he alone amongst the other demons was the highest angel in the highest heaven. So, okay, that tracks,
right?
Oh, geez, I've lost it. No! Abezithabod, right? He goes on to say that whilst up there, he plotted against the other angels, right?
Okay.
Again, that tracks, right? If your dad is Beelzebub or Lucifer, right? Then of course, right? He also reveals that he only has one wing. Oh. And so Abezithabod only has one wing, right? And with that one wing, he plots against every spirit under heaven, right? We don't know if he's talking about like other angels or if he's talking about man, right?
Okay.
But again, like if he's a rebellious angel, it could be either one, right? But this one-winged thing, like I wonder if maybe that's another like mistranslated pun.
Okay.
Because like in this English translation, he seems to imply like see this one wing? With this one wing, I plot against all the spirits under heaven.
Okay. Get
it? This is one wing?
No.
No.
I don't get it.
We don't, Abezithabod. But that's that's how he says it. He's like, and you might notice I have one wing. That's because I plot against all the spirits under heaven. It's like I'm not following.
Right.
No.
And I don't go around judging people who only have one wing.
No.
Abezithabod, like you have.
Abezithabod. But okay. So we don't know what the significance is of the single wing.
Okay.
Right. I think it's something in the translation. Like in English, we would have like Asmodeus be like, I excite lust in men and women and make them mad with desire. And then he's going to like point to his bull head and his goat head and say, because I'm so horny.
Right.
But yeah, so Abezithabod, like his one wing, he's plotting against other spirits. And like we've already seen the translation not work, possibly where it's like, I'm Oniskellis, which means donkey legs, and I was born from a Shart. And Solomon's like, aha, yeah, right. And Solomon's like, aha, donkey legs, born from a Shart. Well, your job is to go spin rope. And the first readers are like, the king of Israel, king of dad jokes is more like it. Go spin rope. And he said it to donkey legs.
To Shart girl.
And he said it to donkey legs Shart baby. Get it? Go spin rope.
All right. That's comedy.
Yeah. So something's happened in the translation that we're not picking up on.
And I love it. I'm here for it.
Right? Baby Shart doo doo doo. How did we not think of that earlier?
I'm embarrassed, frankly.
Yeah. It was beyond our canon. That was a much higher hanging fruit. Yeah. It was a musical fruit. Okay.
Well, wherever you are on Oniskellis, I hope you're doing well.
Yep. Oh, believe
you're not in this. Yeah. You're not in this story anymore. Nope. We just wish you were.
Yeah.
Keep dragging you back in.
Yeah. Okay, but Keenan, here we are, right? Solomon has defeated the son of Beelzebub, right? He has completed the temple.
End of story. Yeah.
He has completed the temple again. And defeated the son of Beelzebub, right? He was a real SOB, right? Son of Beelzebub. All right. Yeah. But yeah, it seems like this would be the end, right?
Yeah.
But it turns out Solomon has one more final boss to fight.
Okay.
And that is himself.
That is like Street Fighter 2 Ultimate Edition. You beat M. Bison, right? And then you have to beat yourself. Yeah. Yeah, this is...
And I'm not talking about like Asmodeus disguised as Solomon, right?
No.
Because he would get punched up into the air. Like if that was happening. It'd be a tiger uppercut, boom.
Right.
Yeah.
This is Nega Solomon.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Bizarro Solomon. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And folks, this far along in the story, we know what happens when Solomon goes toe to toe with an enemy. Solomon wins.
He pulls out his big guns, cut him in half.
And then the other Solomon is like, but how can we be cut in half? We are already two. Solomon's like, no. But yeah, so okay, we're back in here. Okay. We're back in the text, right? So at this point, Solomon has won the main game, right?
Great.
And then some, right?
Oh,
he's defeated the main boss, right? Which is all you really have to do to win, right? But he also got all the demons, right? He completed the temple several times, right? He got the Milky Way bonus. Right, but he is going for 100% completion. Right,
he also made every kingdom on Earth his friend.
Yes.
So all right, so he has beat Street Fighter by beating the big boss. He got all the demons like Pokemon. He completed the temple like Minecraft. He got the Milky Way bonus like Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
And he's got all the nations in the world as friends like Civilization.
Yes. Yeah.
So
he has beaten all those games. Yeah.
Pretty good time for Solomon.
Right. He has more money and influence than any other king before him, right? He completed the Queen of Sheba side quest and the King of Arabia side quest, right? He defeated the secret hidden boss of Beelzebub's son, right? Yeah. But he is going for 100% completion.
Okay,
folks,
great.
Right?
He's getting all the Riddler medals. Yes.
What do you think he's missing now?
Jeez. Okay, so he has the girl. He has to go back and save Eris from dying. Right? That you must be able to save Eris, right? If anybody can do it, Solomon can. Is that too old of a joke?
Oh no, I got it.
Right. Okay, good.
I never got that far in that game, but
you can't save her, it turns out.
No.
Nothing you can do.
Well, I'm glad I didn't put in any more time. But yeah, Keenan, if you said he needs to complete the wives side quest,
Okay.
you'd be right. Now that Solomon has the ring and the demons and the temple, he needs to get the wives.
All right.
Right? Let me say that less nasty. He needs to get.
I don't know if that's possible. It's really nasty.
Yeah. He needs to get the wives. And according to Solomon, because this is his testament, right? He's doing pretty good, right? He takes wives from every land until he reaches the land of the Jebusians, or Jebuseans, right? And he meets a Shunammite woman.
Okay.
And here in the testament, he admits that he fell, quote, violently in love with her.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, no, not great. Not great. But yeah. So now the Jebuseans or the Jebusians, they were a Canaanite tribe which inhabited Jerusalem at the time.
Okay.
And Shunem, like if you're a Shunammite, Shunem was, if I'm understanding correctly, it's a small village within the tribe near the Jezreel Valley.
Okay.
Now, at this time, these folks are worshiping different gods, like how we mentioned before, right? Baal comes from, the lordly title given to many Canaanite gods, right? And so, that's where Baal Zebul comes from. And here in this part of the story, we have them worshiping Moloch.
Have we talked about Moloch yet?
We have not.
Oh, that's interesting. And on this whole show, okay.
Yeah, right. Now, you sound like you know a little bit about Moloch.
I know some of his interpretations later on, like in Watchmen, the comic book. Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I never met the real Moloch. No.
No. Well, there are a few who have. Right? Yeah. He's pretty busy.
Right.
Yeah. Now, folks, you might know who this guy is. He appears in the canonical Bible a couple of times, like in Leviticus and in Kings. He is a Canaanite god who, in the Bible, is associated mainly with child sacrifice.
Right.
And he is always brought up in comparison with the God of the Israelites to sort of showcase the depravity and the barbarism of the Canaanites and their gods, right? So it says in Leviticus, "And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech," right? Sometimes it's Molech, right? Neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. But yeah, so since then, Moloch or Molech has been appropriated for various works of fiction, including John Milton's Paradise Lost, which I've definitely read, where he is one of the chief demons in the first council of hell.
All right.
So Milton writes, "First Moloch, horrid king, besmirched in blood of human sacrifice and parents' tears, though for the noise of drums and timbrels loud, their children's cries unheard that passed through fire to this grim idol." Yeah. And folks, if you do a Google image search of Moloch, that's Moloch, you'll see some early depictions of him. He is a human torso with a bull's head, but his body is a lot of times it's hollowed out and has all these like holes in it, like it's also used for like a kiln or an oven. Right. So he is both the statue and the altar or the oven in which they burn the sacrifices. Right. And the smoke or whatever is burning inside is supposed to like come out of his nostrils and all those little chimney holes. Right. Now, I just got, you might have seen it on Facebook and Instagram. I just got a new book, The Dictionary of Demons. And this is what it says about our buddy Moloch in there, right? It says he appears in 2 Kings 23:10. He might come from the Punic root MLK, which would mean offering or sacrifice. So that might actually just be, like his name might actually mean sacrifice.
Okay.
Yeah. According to some demonology texts, he is placed in the demonic hierarchy as the Prince of the Land of Tears. Now, that's a title. And also, he is one of Beelzebub's knights, being part of the Order of the Fly. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, that's Moloch, pretty bad dude, and that is the god that these people are worshiping. But man, Solomon really wants to get with that Shunammite lady. So he goes to the priests of Moloch and he's like, "Hey, I want to make this woman one of my wives." And they're like, "Sorry, guy, you're one of those Israelites. You want to get with our women, you gotta get with our God. So maybe if you make a sacrifice to Moloch over here, we may consider it." And Solomon's like, no, I will never do that. I will never abandon my God and worship these false gods. No.
Right. I'm out of kids to throw into this fire to begin with.
Yeah,
Right? Send them
right?
out.
What if instead of burning them, you cut them in half? Then you have like 2 sacrifices. No. So here, are the last 2 verses. This is it, folks. The last 2 verses of the Testament of Solomon.
All right.
Yeah. And when I answered that I would on no account worship strange gods, they told the maiden not to sleep with me until I complied and sacrificed to the gods. I then was moved. But crafty Eros brought and laid by her for me 5 grasshoppers, saying, take these grasshoppers and crush them together in the name of the god Moloch, and then I will sleep with you. And this I actually did. And at once the Spirit of God departed from me, and I became weak as well as foolish in my words. And after that I was obliged by her to build a temple of idols to Baal, and to Rapha, and to Moloch, and to the other idols. I then, wretch that I am, followed her advice, and the glory of God quite departed from me, and my spirit was darkened, and I became the sport of idols and demons. Wherefore I wrote out this testament, that ye who get possession of it may pity, and attend to the last things, and not to the first, so that ye may find grace forever and ever. Amen.
Yeesh.
Yeesh. Oh yeah, we got yeesh. That's an extra biblical yeesh. Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yes. Interesting. Oh, are you Lester? Did you become Lester?
That's not how I thought this might go. All right.
Yeah. So, okay, all right. A couple of things here, right? Because that was it. That was it, folks.
That's the whole end. That's the whole story.
Yeah, that's the end. So
where's Orneus? Where's the kid with the thumb?
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where's what happens to Ephippus?
Yeah.
Does
he get out of the bottle?
Yeah. What does Beelzebub do? They all it's you would think they all kind of show up at the end and they all kind of nod and they point to Solomon. It's you did it, but actually he didn't. He fucked up. He messed up royally, biblically. Right?
I mean, so is this why there are, again, shipwrecks and diseases and infant mortality?
I guess so. Yeah. So all of the demons, once the power of God leaves him, I think that implies that now all of the demons are free again. So,
I did not think that was going to happen. All right.
Yeah. So, let's examine this, right? Mm-hmm. So at first, Solomon refuses to sacrifice to Moloch.
Mm-hmm.
But then later, someone named Eros comes to him.
Right.
Now, again, Eros is from Greek mythology. We might know him better as Cupid, right? God of love and also desire, right? It seems like the authors are also demonizing him here,
right.
just like Baal and Beelzebul and Moloch. Eros appears to be a demon in this story who visits Solomon to tempt him. But the text is a little confusing here also because it could also be the Shunammite woman.
Right. I was having trouble tracking who that was, right?
Yeah. Or maybe it's both of them. Or maybe she is possessed by Eros.
Right.
Or maybe, Keenan, just maybe, she was Eros the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
In any case, right? So Eros or the Shunammite woman offers Solomon some grasshoppers and is like, hey, you don't have to sacrifice any babies or openly worship Moloch at his altar. Just crush up these grasshoppers, in your hand, in the name of Moloch, and I'll sleep with you. Right. And Solomon is like, done.
Yeah, say less. Say less, fam.
Yeah.
Give me more grasshoppers.
And as soon as he crushes them up, the Spirit of God leaves him, but the story doesn't stop there. You'd think there'd be a crash of thunder, or Solomon suddenly turns old and feeble, right? And something to show that he is no longer supported by God. And he looks up to the heavens. He's like, no, right? And that's where it ends. But it keeps going, and he basically becomes a slave to his animal desires, and he does all these crazy things, building temples to all the other gods.
Right.
And it says becoming the sport of what does it say? Of idols and demons. Yeah. So, and folks, if you go back and you look at some of the predictions that the demons make against Solomon, specifically that of the 7 sisters, right? Deception, strife, clothud or battle, jealousy, error, power, and quote unquote the worst, right? And remember that last sister, just called the worst, she said that she will impose the bonds of Artemis And this can be interpreted as changing Solomon into an animal, because that was one of the Artemis's things, right? She would turn people into animals, right? So Solomon kind of becomes he gives in to his animal desires here, right?
I see.
And then the worst sister also says the locusts will set her free, right? And here we have this mock sacrifice of grasshoppers to Moloch, causing Solomon to lose his powers and for the Spirit of God to leave him. So, it's also presumed that, all the demons are free now, right?
When you're, when you're the author of the Bible, right? When you're one of the authors of the Bible, and you're writing these prophecies, and you could be forgiven if the prophecies don't match up directly. But when you're writing the Testament of Solomon, you have full control over this, and you're writing it all in one bit. So why are the prophecies you still have to sort of interpret? You have to remind me that oh, there's locusts, but here they're grasshoppers, and why aren't they all just the same? Are they trying to maybe capture that sheen of how a real prophecy that does come true, has sort of mistakes or asymmetry to it?
Okay, so I see what you're saying. So you're saying like interpreters of the Bible will have to do a little bit of gymnastics to make the earlier stuff fit with the later stuff,
right?
But because it wasn't all written at the same time,
by the same author,
people,
right?
But this is
and reflecting real history that really happened, and saying that really, but this is not that. This is written
by one person
at one time,
Solomon.
Right. So are they trying to capture some of that je ne sais quoi of the way that prophecy has worked for them, and rather than if I were writing this as a complete piece, and I'm a hack, right? But so I'd be okay, Solomon would be oh, I remember now the woman, the evilest sister told me about the locusts, and now I have in my hand the grasshoppers, which must mean the locusts. And here I am, and I'm making the decision, and I decide that yes, I'm doing this to myself. Why isn't it sort of written that way?
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Keenan. I would also do this as well. I would have somebody, right? Maybe not necessarily Solomon, but somebody kind of call this out, right?
A Horatio character.
A Horatio, right. Like maybe Orneus is there, right? He's just, he's like, hey, that is what the last sister said to you.
All right, folks at home, guess what Lester had in his mouth? Write to us at theexorcistminute@gmail.com. Yep. Was it locusts? Who knows?
Right? Or was it grasshoppers? Actually, but Keenan, I think we're splitting hairs here, though, right? Aren't locusts grasshoppers? Aren't they the same thing?
Yeah, but why don't they use the same word here,
the same exact word, right?
Yeah, or as you say,
he's gonna shoot you with a crimson gun, and then someone shoots him with a red gun. It's you see, just say the same thing.
Or the power of Diana is going to turn him into an animal, but we sort of have to make those connections for ourselves here. Until you put that connection to it, I didn't catch that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, some Horatio-ish Orneus character, it's me from the beginning.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you what you learned here. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the English version.
Right.
And we also know that it's been translated by multiple people.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the first person who translated locusts, when they were with that scene with the seven sisters, is translating the same word. Maybe in the original language, it is the same word. And that would make it make sense for us a little bit more.
Okay, but you're going to be brought down by the power of Diana, and then we don't send Diana, we send her son, Eros. What's that about?
wait, but it's Artemis.
Artemis is Diana, right?
Oh, well, I don't know. Sure.
Oh, wait, but then...
Say that again,
right.
So I sound smarter.
But Artemis is Diana, right?
Well, of course, but...
Wait, but I messed up. So Eros isn't Diana's son, that's Venus's son.
You made me lie about how smart I was? And actually reveal how stupid I was?
And Cupid is Aphrodite's son. Anyways, why isn't it Artemis at the end coming in? Or Diana?
I don't know. These demons like to be figurative rather than literal. Solomon is the literal one. He took the fable of the rejected stone and attributed it to an actual rejected stone. So we assume that all the demons are free now, right? And they're roaming the earth, and that's why we have all the bad stuff, right? And the last part of the Testament of Solomon is cautioning others not to do what Solomon has done, right? But to remain pure of heart and soul and never falter in their faith, right? Like Solomon did, right?
Yeah.
So it's a cautionary tale. Keenan, what did we think of this whole thing, of this ending here? We were following along, we were having fun with Solomon,
yeah, it was super
and
fun.
we were critical of Solomon, right? Like, I wouldn't say he's our favorite character. Well, I don't know. Like, who's your favorite character?
Oh, the djinn in the bottle with the little
okay.
legs.
Ephipus, yeah.
The Ephipus.
Yeah. I like Orneus.
Yeah,
I think
he's great.
Fun. Yeah.
He's wonderful.
Yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, but then this happens and I don't know, like.
Well, as a modern day feminist, again, like, it's a cautionary tale about losing your faith, but then it's couched in that comes through women seducing you and the evils of women being women. And, how could you not, betray your kingdom, right, for a sexy woman from somewhere else?
Wait. So are we saying that, like, the first readers of this are, like, on Solomon's side about this? Like, thinking he got a bum deal?
No,
I'm just
saying, I'm saying, like, okay, so textually it is, well, I mean, that's what happens, right? It's the women's fault. It's always the women.
It's Solomon's fault.
It's always these women out there and they're so seductive. And how could you, like, oh, that's what's going to be the downfall of you kingdoms. Women are so beautiful, women are so beautiful. And, it's not like your fault. Yeah.
But that's on Solomon. I know, okay, I see what you're doing. I see
right.
Like it's the wiles of the the stereotypical, like, evil, like, demonic kind of, like, the wicked women, right? And they're this is a Lilith and and whatever. And it's like tempted Solomon from the true path. Solomon went there by himself.
but I mean,
Solomon didn't know who this woman was until he saw her and, quote, fell violently in love with her.
Right, but
this woman didn't do
very
nothing.
Frequently positioned like this, like it's so the way that we dramatize somebody losing faith is that he's attracted to a woman, which is not an uncommon trope,
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
About the wicked ways of women. Be careful of them.
But it's like so you're saying like society then puts all of that on the woman. It's like it's
I think
her
that's
fault
borne
for being
out.
so
right.
Yeah.
So Solomon right, he maintains his faith when he's tempted by gold and power and building armies and ruling kingdoms, but it's this woman. Like, how could he possibly get away from that?
And that's how he worships Moloch, is to get with this woman.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh. And so okay, do you think, because we're in 2023 here, looking like, Solomon, this is all you.
Yeah.
This is all your fault.
Right.
Like you did this to yourself. Are you saying, do you think, like, the first readers were like, oh man, poor Solomon, he got bamboozled by that Shunammite woman?
And that's a really good question. I don't know, because the first readers would have been who? Would they have been Christians or
early
or?
Greek Christians?
Yeah, so it might be like,
are the writers,
right? It might also be like, oh, these people who didn't find Christ, right? Or they, like these Jews again, like that's what the author calls them, right? Like maybe that's part of it too, like. Oh, King Solomon, he was the greatest Jew before Jesus, and now look at him. Yeah. Well, so what do you think about all this?
Well, it's kind of like a little bit anticlimactic. Yeah, I was hoping that some things would come back and and stuff did come back. Like, the prophecy was fulfilled. He was he was brought low by the locusts, and the demons were set free. But we don't get, like, closure from the demons or from I guess in Solomon's eyes they don't really matter. But yeah, it's not like I was saying. Like, I was expecting it to be like, and then the power of God left me, and I just kind of, like, looked around. It's like, oh well, I guess that's that.
Right,
it serves me right. I learned my lesson.
Right,
I should never have done that. But, like, the power of God leaves him, and then he goes on to do more depraved things. Like, it's not like and scene right after the power of God. He builds temples. That takes time, as we know from this story. So it just, like, it's kind of like definitely not a happy ending.
No.
Yeah.
He builds temples to Baal and Moloch, and
Do we know, like, what does it say in the canonical Bible, like, the details of Solomon's downfall?
What a great question. I don't know the answer to.
Yes. We should have probably checked that before.
All right, hold on. Let's All right, so I remembered. I've done some remembering here. 1 Kings 11:4. Solomon's wives turned his heart after other gods.
Aha.
These are their own national deities to whom Solomon built temples.
Aha. Oh, well, there we go.
It's biblical.
So that's why. So that could be why it doesn't sound like narratively pleasing, is because it's based on
and balanced,
narratively symmetrical. Yeah, because it's based on, like, the actual historical happenings.
Right.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
That's too bad, Solomon.
Solomon.
Not a fan of that. Yeah.
No. You had it, but you lost it.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, this reminds me of this webcomic. I don't know if you ever saw it, but the dad, his kids have never met his sister. And so he drives her over and says, okay, you're going to meet the kids. And he says, hey, kids, I'd like you to introduce you to your anti-climax. And she says, hey.
I can see. Yeah, I can see that.
All right.
Well, yeah, that is all my notes, folks. Keenan, is there anything else we missed?
Yeah, when are they going to build that temple?
Yeah, you know what? I was hoping that they would get to that. They kept hinting about it. But yeah, it just never happened. I don't know.
I smell a sequel.
Kings 2. Well, no, that actually is a thing. That made you laugh a lot more than I anticipated.
That's very funny. First Kings. I wonder if it's all going to get wrapped up in this one.
Wait a minute. This is the lesser key of Solomon. That means that somewhere there's a greater key of Solomon. Why is nobody talking about that one? Yeah. But yeah, okay, folks, write in and let us know what you thought of the story of the Testament of Solomon. Also, write in if we missed anything, if we got anything wrong, we want to do this story justice. And it was a really, really fun story to research and to talk about here on the show. All right, well, that was great. Thanks, past Lester and Keenan. Well, folks, I have been Lester Ryan Clark, both in the past and in the present. You can summon me on all the socials as Lester Ryan Clark.
And I am immune to the bounds of time, and I've been Keenan Diaz, and you can invoke me on Instagram and Letterboxd at Howdy Keenan.
Yeah, find more of our shows and other really cool podcasts at True Story FM. Like us on Instagram and join our Facebook listener group, Dante's Ninth Circle Sushi and Karaoke Bar, or feel free to drop us a message at thedevilsdetails@gmail.com. Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? We're not even asking for your souls. Just give us a 5-pentagram rating on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to our show. That and sharing the show by word of mouth or on social media helps our little podcast grow and find more cool people like you. All right, folks. Until next week, love and hisses. Mwah!